Okay.
Hello, good morning, Pippa. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this video with us on some 3 top tips. Obviously, we've been friends for over 2 decades, I think.
Yeah.
Long time. I'm giving our age away. But I wondered if you, for the benefit of people who are watching, would talk a little bit about the work that you do locally in Chester and nationally.
Yes, of course. That's great. I'm basically I freelance, so I do marketing and event consultancy for various companies. But my other sideline is a children's toy. We've got a company called Wannabes with my business partner Lynn, and we make role play toys for kids. So everything that they need to be the profession of their choice. We've got 3 role play packs out at the moment, and probably going to do more in the future. We've got a teacher one, a doctor one, and a cafe owner one. So 2 of those very, very prevalent at the moment, obviously with what's going on, the doctor pack, and obviously the homeschooling, the teacher pack as well. So basically I'll just give you a flash of them so you can have a quick look. But so this one, I want to be a teacher pack. So it has everything in there that they need to be a proper teacher. So it's not your dressing up, it's all the paperwork that goes with it. So it's everything they need to be a proper teacher. So things like school registers to fill in, timetables, and timetable there for them to fill in, letter and number practice, reports, things like what would you like for lunch today, filling in.
Wow, I love that.
There's the letter and number practice.
I'll have to get mine out because I mean, I've had mine for a while, and I think actually it's quite helpful for mums out there, isn't it, to get their kids engaged at the moment.
Definitely. With the homeschooling that's going on, one of the key things obviously for early years is role play. That's a really big focus of what is done in early years settings. So particularly in that first year at school, the majority of their time is spent role playing. So giving them the tools to do that and use their imagination, is really, really key. And these packs obviously help to do that by giving them the things they need to do that. And also then they can teach their teddy bears, or they can teach the other members of the family. The doctor pack, obviously, we all played doctors and nurses as we were growing up. So, we've got, in the doctor pack, which is that one, I want to be a doctor. So that one's got things like prescriptions that they can fill in, little things that they can mark where someone's poorly, how to bandage people, all things like that, ward plans so they can set out their ward. And particularly with what's going on, people, little kids will love to role play at being a doctor. And I think it's probably quite a good way of talking to them about it as well, in terms of what's going on. So yeah, and we do a cafe owner one as well. So
and I think the cafe owner as well has got a really good relevance here as well, because I think, well, certainly in my home, I'm getting the kids far more involved in some of the chores around the house, some of the food preparation. So I think that's also got a really good place. So I must get that link off you, Pippa, and we'll put that in the Facebook link.
Great. Yeah. So yeah, the cafe owner one's great. Obviously, and it's got recipes in there as well, and the basic ones, that kids can easily do by themselves. So the packs sort of give an opportunity for parents to sort of let the kids play by themselves, really, and role play, which is so important. Yeah. And they're available on our website. They're $14.99, but we do a bundle offer for the 3 of them, which is really good. So
wonderful. Thank you. And so what other tips would you give to parents who are at home trying to homeschool and trying to get children engaged, which is a challenge with some of the screen time that children are having at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, obviously my top tip is the role playing. I think then really don't be too hard. The second tip is probably don't be too hard on yourself about screen time. You know, it's really important that because the kids aren't seeing their friends as well, it's really important that they are spending time using their screens to communicate with their friends and everything. But there are some brilliant downloadable resources on there as well. And basically things that you can leave the kids doing whilst you do your jobs, because let's be honest, most of us are still working, and we need these things to be able to get on with some of our own jobs. So don't be hard on yourself at all about using some of the screen time options. I've got a few favourites that I thought I'd just share with you. Carol Vorderman does one on maths, which is great. There's a website called Exploring, which is brilliant for science and nature. And then I really like the Cookie Monster Sesame Street meditation that the kids can watch on telly. That's great. And it's a perfect opportunity at the moment to maybe get your children learning a bit more about coding and the website side of things. And there's a resource called Bebot, which is really, really good. So those would be my top sort of choices for those. And then really other than learning through play and role play, I think the important thing is the fresh air, isn't it? And trying to do most of your learning, if you can, out in the garden, you know, science and nature, get out there and actually look at stuff out there. I don't know if you did when you were younger, but we made one of those worm houses. You know, now's the ideal opportunity. I think we've all made a worm house in our life, to do that and to actually engage with outside whilst you've got the chance. Also gives them fresh air, so it's perfect. Those would be my top tips, I think, for lockdown.
I absolutely love those, which I knew I would, and I'll certainly be using them, Pip. Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time to go through your top tips. Absolutely love that. So role play, getting out in the fresh air, and I love that you've said don't worry too much about screen time, because I do really give myself quite a hard time about that, and I think you're right. You know, they're not with their friends, and so I'll be a bit easier on myself in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. Take it easy. Stay
easy.
safe.
Stay safe. Really good to see you.
And you. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.